Hello, everybody. It is the 200th episode extravaganza. Welcome to the Seventh Rule with Cirroc, Lofton.
Hello, hello.
My name is Ryan T. Husk, and today we're going to go over the previous 199 episodes and just kind of talk about our journey over the last 4 years. How are you today, Cirroc?
I'm good. Not each 199 episodes, just like a general overview.
And we're not going to be covering 200 episodes because then we would give a recap on right now. But really, we just kind of want to, and we're going to go over all that, but we're also going to be looking forward all the way to the next generation, because starting next week, we will be covering next generation episodes with Denise Crosby, and it's going to be so much fun. So stay tuned for all that. We're going to be looking ahead to the next generation a little later on in this episode. But first things first, when did this was Aaron Eisenberg's fun conceptualization? Was it December of 2023 when he contacted you about this? I think it was, right?
2023? That's
right. December of 2018, which was 4 years ago.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that now 200 episodes into this podcast, I've officially done more work on this podcast than I did on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
I never thought that would actually be the case going into it. I never, thought it would even last as long as it has. When Aaron first came with the idea, I was just thinking, okay, well, let's give this a try and see where it goes. There was no real expectation for a success actually on my part. I just felt like it would be like two buddies hanging out and reminiscing on old times, and that's essentially what it's become. Except that he's not here with us, but it's still about us hanging out and reminiscing on old times and analyzing what is taking place. But I never thought we'd come this far, and it's kind of it's humbling and really special to know that this vision that he had was able to really grow and become this community of people that are so amazing and that I care so deeply about.
Yeah, and also it's not just 200 episodes that we've done. We've done 200 episodes in our flagship show, the Seventh Rule, the T7R series. But we've also done over 100 of the T7R2 series, which is all the new Star Trek, Prodigy, Paramount, Picard, Strange New Worlds, Discovery, and Lower Decks. We've also done the CNF videos, Captain Nog Forever videos. There are 47 of those. We've done a ton for virtual Trek cons. So
47. That's a cool number, right?
We're stopping there, right? Because number one, that is the special Star Trek number, what they always talk about, 40 Shields at 47 or Starbase 47. But also, Aaron appeared in exactly 47 episodes of Deep Space Nine. So
yeah,
he had the perfect number for Star Trek, and so we're just going to copy that and just stay right there at 47.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. But yeah, this is a lot of shows, a lot of episodes, but it's really been a journey about just getting to know Star Trek, and that's part of the whole experience as well. It's getting to know Star Trek, getting to know the characters and how they relate to us in our own lives. I think that's the special journey that each and every one of us has in our own way. How does it affect us? It affected me in so many different ways just by my own experiences and being there for it, but also now watching it from a different lens. It still continues to resonate and impact in my life. So I'm just grateful for this journey that Aaron insisted that we go on.
Yeah, he was super excited about it. I remember talking with him in probably November or December of 2018. I got to stop looking ahead. We're looking at 2023, 2018. And he was super excited about this. And then when he mentioned your name, when he said, what about Cirroc? And he's like, I talked to Cirroc and Cirroc would be down. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest idea ever. Jake and Nog, like it was like this perfect match, and then of course he brought on Jared Cooper as well, who he'd worked with previously, and Jared was with us for the first few months, which was great because he kind of handled certain producer things that we were not fully equipped to handle, or were not ready, or didn't have the time to handle at first. And so once he left, I kind of took over most of that burden. But thank goodness he was there for the first few months to kind of, show us the ropes and be, kind of like training wheels for us in a lot of ways. So that was great. And then you, me, and Aaron moved on to Deep Space Nine in May of 2019. And I have to say, though, Cirroc, your metamorphosis throughout all this has been incredible, because like you said, when you first popped in, you're like hanging out. You're like, just hanging out with some buddies, reminiscing, talk. And then as you grew, the show grew, because, you and I think it was after Aaron, sadly passed away and we didn't know really what to do or how to do it. It kind of forced us to start taking like avid notes and extensive, thoughts and all this, because we really had to step it up in Aaron's absence, because we didn't have Aaron to kind of lead us or guide us or bring the energy. We had to kind of provide it ourselves. And you've had like this huge transformation. It's been amazing to watch or to listen to, where now you're like this Star Trek savant. It's so cool. Like now when we're reviewing episodes, you go, remember back in that episode, whatever. I'm like, God, I've watched this series like 3 or 4 times and I don't remember this stuff. It's been pretty amazing.
Thank you. Thanks, Ryan. It's been amazing working with you. And all of our team is just so special. But in regards to that particular issue, I felt like a responsibility that I owed to Aaron to kind of like, when we decided that we were going to continue to go forward, because that was the big thing, whether we were going to continue or not, and when Aaron passed away, it felt like, oh, this is a crossroads right here. Do we just walk away from this whole thing, or do we continue? And really the idea was that the best way to honor him and to continue, to pay tribute to his memory was to do the thing that he had this vision for. And so I think that was one of the big things that motivated us to continue to go forward. Mm-hmm. And then, having made that decision, it was also about, okay, now we got to step it up and actually, do this. And like you said, Aaron does so much. It's easy to lean on him as a crutch, because he can take over a conversation, and you can sit back and just nod your head and giggle nod and laugh every once in a while. Yeah, nod your head, just nod your head. And you can just soak in a lot of what he says. And he's so good at just being, a general on the floor when he's speaking, that it was easy to kind of lean on him as a crutch. And when we didn't have that anymore, it was more of a responsibility on us to kind of not only kind of pick up that slack, but also get into these episodes and really dissect what we're looking at. Because I remember Aaron was very adamant about dissecting certain shots that directors took, different approaches that actors took. And that was one of the things Aaron was very passionate about, was like really looking and dissecting some of these things. So yes. I felt like we had to kind of
dig in deeper.
Yeah, pick up that that baton and carry that forward. So it's been great. I've learned so much, and thanks to Ira and all of the writers at of Deep Space Nine that put this whole thing together, because they gave us a lot of ammunition to dissect. It wasn't like, simple stuff where you can just say, all right, well, that's pretty much face value stuff. It's a bank robbery episode and they robbed the bank. I mean, it's just, what else do you want? No, there was a lot more nuance there. There's a lot more meaning to take away. There's so many cultural references. There's historic references. I mean, these writers laced us with so many gems to just kind of take apart. And we probably only took apart 10% of how much material is in there. How many references to books, how many quotes from, authors that we didn't recognize on the watch throughs.
Right. Which is why we're going to be continuing to cover Deep Space Nine in a different way. We're going to be doing monthly Deep Space Nine deep dives to scratch a little bit more of that delicious Deep Space Nine surface. But also, I did want to jump on what you were saying about Ira and the writers and them. It's amazing, 4 years later, since we started this show, how many of them have been on this show, celebrating Aaron, seeing Aaron's vision come to life, celebrating Star Trek and Deep Space Nine, and really coming on. And they've all been so gracious and so fun and so introspective and so intelligent. Like, we really haven't had one bad guest. Well, there was that one, but no, I'm just kidding. But
JG said, "Don't talk about him like that,
or he'll come on again and teach us a lesson." No, but they've all been so wonderful and friendly, and the things that they've taught us, like the writers are so fun and interesting to listen to and insightful, and the actors are so gracious and fun, and it's just been an amazing ride to see how many people have been willing to donate their time. I mean, it's usually for like an hour at a time, or sometimes two, or like in the case of poor Ira and our What You Leave Behind review is like 3 hours. And he was a trooper. He's like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm like, are you sure? But they've been
but
fantastic.
I think of so many moments, and just they're very small, subtle moments that you have to catch in the conversations that we have. But Ira talking about taking a trip up to Santa Barbara and driving back, and then thinking, "Oh, I got it. The last scene's going to have Jake in it." Like, small things like that give so much insight into where these ideas come from, and I think about these interviews, like with Nana being so gracious and giving us so many stories about, how she approaches scenes and what her experiences were. And, I remember her saying that Avery was the one that said, pronounced my name Nana, because everybody used to call her Nana or something like that. And I remember that it was Avery who said, "How does your mother pronounce your name?" And that's how I'm going to say your name. Right. And so, I mean, just things like that. Those are personal kind of insights into, very intimate details of just how these relationships blossom and flourish. Siddig talking about his Chrysler LeBaron and being on the the Paramount lot
and playing video games.
Yeah, I mean, these are like really great stories, and that's been part of the journey, is learning these things and hearing these conversations. And Robert Wolf kind of on the fence about whether he should stay or go in that 5th season, and kind of regretting it to some degree. And so there's so many things that happened throughout the course of watching the show and interviewing and talking with these people, that I feel so much more connected to the experience of watching the show. It's like, oh, I got more information. There's so much behind the scenes that went on.
Yeah, and the community has really been unbelievably supportive as well. The fan community, where for example, our YouTube channel has well over 15,000 subscribers. and we've had well over 1 million views on our channel. That's 1 million times that people have decided that they want to watch what we have to offer. And a lot of channels can maybe reach those kinds of numbers by producing daily episodes, constant content. We basically have 2 weekly shows. We've first our flagship show, and then we're also doing the new stuff. And to have that many subscribers when we're not just blasting tons of episodes out it's really impressive and really appreciated. And the fans have just, how many times when you're at a Star Trek convention, does somebody come up to your table and tell you they like your show?
Never. I haven't heard it once.
Impossible, number one.
No, I get it all the time, and I'm really grateful for that too. It's a humbling thing that people have over the years really come to appreciate Deep Space Nine more and more, and the love has been increasing. I would say over the years, it's been tremendous. I'm going to be able to, we talked earlier about Next Generation and doing this first season of Next Generation with Denise Crosby, which I'm looking forward to. I'm going to actually have something to compare Deep Space Nine to. So
yes.
On the one hand, it's great that I've got Deep Space Nine, but I would like to compare it to the Star Trek of its era, or its generation, let's say, the same era relatively, which would put up against Next Generation or Voyager for me to see how it stands up against those two. But the new Star Trek, soaking all of that in, I'm really loving just the actors on those shows, and the relationships we've built with them. It's just been the greatest journey doing this podcast, Ryan, with you. And I'm grateful to everybody who's come on to support the fans, the producers that we have that have just, been with us through thick and thin and shared their own personal ups and downs in lives. And I just feel like an extended family has been created thanks to Nog and his vision.
Good old Nog.
Yeah.
And now he's infused in everything we do. My background is a Ferengi. We've got a self-sealing stem bolt for the two of you right here in our shirt. He's everywhere. And let's take a super quick break and on the other side talk about moving forward into Next Generation. But before we do that, I'm going to take a moment to heap praise on you, Cirroc, because there is absolutely nobody that I would want to be taking this journey with. You have proven to be such an incredible partner. Like, you're such a great guy. I can't believe how much you've stepped up to be, just the best partner that anybody could hope for. And anytime I talk about you, after about 5 minutes of talking shit, I get to I usually will tell people secretly that there's absolutely nobody that I'd want to go to war with every day, and share a scene or share a stage or share the internet with than you, because of just how unbelievably open-minded and compassionate and gracious you are, and how often you will give a very friendly fake laugh to my stupid jokes, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And it's so true. Like, nothing like Sinead O'Connor says, nothing compares to you. You're an A+ person, you're an A+ partner, you're an A+ businessman, and I thank my lucky stars. I thank the emissary for having you bestowed upon us. We're very fortunate for it. So,
thanks. You must have gotten the text that I sent you to say that. I'm glad that you you didn't leave
I
anything.
couldn't read it word for word, so I tried to memorize it. Did it work?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
I missed the part about handsome. You're handsome too.
There, thank you. Thank you.
But let's flip over to the other side real quick and talk about the next generation. We'll be right back, everybody, on the 7th Rule.